Welcome back, I am Captain Xavier, and it's Friday, which would normally mean fan mail, but I did not receive any fan mail this week, so instead I'm going to do a video that has been asked for a number of times, and I've been kind of avoiding it because I don't really see the point of it, but y'all asked for it, so y'all gonna get it. I am doing an arsenal video, which I'm still not entirely sure what that even means. If you just want me to go over all of the blasters here in my shop, which will take forever, unless I do some serious glossing over, which I probably will. But I'm using this also as an excuse to test out my new helmet cam. I tried a gun cam at the last war I was at, and the footage was less than stellar, largely because I wasn't used to having a gun cam, and two, I wasn't entirely sure how it worked. So I've added a helmet cam as well. This will be mounted on the left side behind my mask. It mounts quite nicely. I can still raise my mask without interfering with the camera, which is ideal. I will also still have the gun cam, so I'll be getting footage from both, and we'll hopefully get some really good shots from the war tomorrow. If not, well, we'll see. They're fairly cheap because I figure they're gonna get the crap beat out of them. Not the best. Audio was also distinctly questionable at the last one, largely because it was mounted to a Springer, and every time I primed it, it of course made a lot of noise. I imagine it'd be even worse if I attached it to a flywheel gun. We'll see how that works out. I'll probably just have to always edit out all of the audio. But I'm going to pop this on my head and give you all a tour of my great collection of Nerf, which isn't the largest by any means. I mean, the curator's got many times more than I do, and most of the great YouTubers, Nerf tubers, have considerably larger arsenals than I have. But I've actually only been collecting on this scale for a couple of months now, so I think I've done fairly well. So let's take a look. My medieval armor, which is getting brought out and having the rust knocked off of it. Stuff that's still in boxes, I figured I'd throw them up on a pegboard for now. They will eventually get taken out. This is my ammo and attachments bins. Apparently there's a knife in there. Lots of magazines. I have an obscene amount of 18-round magazines now because I love them, 18-round drums. My axe bayonet, all of Eyer's attachments take up a whole section in there, and then tons and tons of ammunition. I've got this front bin that has a whole bunch of variety of ammunitions. Bins full of magazines, boxes full of magazines. This is what I'm going to be using in the war tomorrow rather than my usual heavy plate carrier. It's just a light plate carrier, and it'll be much nicer to run around in. Trunks over here generally contain camping gear. This is my heavy armor. This is my light armor. This is my medieval clothing. This is all my camping gear. This will be getting featured in the war tomorrow. I finally made myself a shield. It is, in fact, yes, made out of a sled and some plexiglass, so it's riot shield style. It should be loads of fun. Hopefully it will work. We'll find out. I do hope any of this is actually getting filmed. Well, the helm cam works fairly well, but not so good for close-up stuff, so I'm just going to use my phone and go back over it all. Starting in this corner, we have bins full of dead shells. A bunch of them came out of the curator's workshop, and one of the bins is actually mine. Up on top, we've got a couple of ongoing projects. The curator's Lancer, his Nuff Nuff, a couple of other stuff up there. Then we get into the actual storage. I'm not going to pull everything out because that would take for flipping forever. We'll start with these three clear green bins. They're all parts from various guns that have been taken apart. Cut up shells, mostly internals, stuff like that. There are some full shells in there as well, but none of the big ones. So I've got a Roto Fury in box over there. This first bin here, this is all AR pistols. So triads, the grip blaster, what else do we have in here? Double downs, 4 victories, dual strikes, stars, wizards, double strikes, that kind of stuff. This bin is all the good single-shot blasters, so Night Finders, Fire Strikes, Pink Revenges, Big Shocks, Big Hot Shocks, Elements, Switch Shots, all that sort of stuff. Single-shot pistols that I'm actually likely to mod, Stormfires, Clear Shots, that sort of thing. Next bin over is all of the blasters that probably aren't going to ever get modified because they're reflexes, off-brand stuff. There's some weird revolvers and things in here. Mostly blasters that really don't mod very well. Reverse plunger stuff, off-brand stuff, that kind of thing. Then over here we've got Magnuses, Rough Cuts, Rapid Reds. Oh, what else do we have up in here? Ravens. Decent blasters, but ones that wouldn't fit in the ceiling. Got a couple of stuff in boxes there, some XPZs in box, some weird Super Soaker rocket launcher. There's a Baron over there. The green bins down here are kind of random. This one really is very random. I have no idea what all is in there. I think there's some vintage stuff in there, some Apollos in there. This one's all the various bows that I have that still have their strings, Guardian crossbows, this crossbow, crosscut bows, zing bows, cross bolts, the Chewbacca crossbow I think is in there somewhere. Stack of strifes for future projects. This one has things like my Captain America shield and my Iron Man gauntlets, as well as some vintage stuff and other who knows what. This one has some of the clip blasters as well as my Fireflies and my Scorpions, but other than that, there's also some random stuff in there. The two big bins down there on the bottom are both Jomo's. The Centurion over there is his as well. The big bin on the bottom over here is John's stuff, though I think most of it's actually getting doled out in various ways. This one is long arms that didn't work well in the overhead racks, so sling fires, sledge fires, double shots, eliminators, bolt action stuff, that sort of thing. High capacity magazines, 35 round drums, my Firefly magazines, 25 round drums, that sort of thing. Good revolvers, Sweet Revenges, Spectres, Hammer Shots, Strong Arms, Snapfires. I think there's a Lawbringer in there. Air-powered blasters, mostly pistols, Secret Shots, 1 and 2. No, I think the other Secret Shot's over there somewhere. The air-powered revolvers, mag strikes, the Spider-Man blaster, anything that involves a pump pretty much went in there. I think this box has Vulcan boxes in it. I could be wrong about that. Off-brand revolvers, the Techs, Tech 6s, Tech 4s, this X-Shot revolver, whatever these things are. All those off-brand types of revolvers. I think there's some Tech 3s in there probably. Eliminator inbox. 6-round magazines. Cones for use in games. That's all of my stocks that aren't attached to blasters in the ceiling. Various Nerf attachments. Dart holders. Scopes. Foregrips. I think my dart tag flag, my dart tag flag there is in the top. Other ammo holding things that aren't magazines. Busby shells, Sledgefire shells, Scorpion belts, Vortex magazines, the shell holding magazines. Mavericks. I have a whole huge bin just of Mavericks because I acquired them for use in little kid Nerf wars when I didn't want to give them stuff that I didn't care if it got broken. I got a couple of these gold ones from the Skyland thing. I do have plans for them. A pair of those, and then just a whole bin of Mavericks in various shapes. I think this is miscellaneous tack gear. More air blasters. They are more of the rocket launcher types. They all fire larger than standard ammunition of one kind or another. So, all the Busby rocket launchers and those little ones, and the big bad bows, those sort of things, the smaller rocket launchers as well. Barricades, Fury Fires, mostly. There's also that one Star Wars Stormtrooper blaster and a Flip Fury in there as well. Breech loading blasters, as well as barrel breaks and a couple of other random ones that just really didn't have anywhere else to go. A whole box of Vortex. All of my Vortex blasters, Ravonics, all of that jazz. It's all in there. And then the bin on the bottom is actually another local nerfers named Dylan's. My tack gear, or at least my zombie tack gear, I am still working on making a lighter set because, as people have pointed out, all of that gear is way more than you would ever need for a Nerf war, and as a result, I'm retailoring my whole kit. I'll get a lighter vest and some lighter holsters and design a loadout for war rather than for HVZ. This whole shelf is pretty much just ammunition. I've got Titan rockets up there, a couple of other, like my armor bag. Finally got some Zing arrows at Goodwill in their little holders. I thought that was pretty cool. Smaller rockets, these are all full of darts. More random ammunition down there. The smaller rockets, mega rockets, balls, discs, all of that fun stuff. And then you can't really see it down there, but there's more bags and bags and bags of ammunition of all shapes and sizes, a bunch of which I'm going to be using in the war this weekend, and I have no intention of getting back. I've got a bunch of the Busby pirate pistols, which I have plans for. Hilder up there with her 2 underslung options. I've got 2 of the scatter blasts, the green one and the blue one, my gas mask. And then, of course, my usual arsenal. We will get to that last. So I think the next place to go is up. Now, this first row are all of the blasters that have the little guard behind the handle. I'm sure there's a word for it, but I can't think of one. And so they all have to be slid onto the end of these rails. So we've got the Doominator, some Busby thing, my Elite Raven, a couple of Stampedes, my Elite Stampede with its Master Key, and a bunch more Stampedes. Long Strikes, another Doominator, a Swarm Fire, a couple more Long Strikes. Titans. The Hellsender and the other Bass Pro Shop blaster. Some weird spitwad shooting thing. A couple of Overlords. I have some fun plans for those. Thunder Blasts. Also have plans for that. Vulcans for days. 5 of them are actually wired to be a remote sentry gun setup, and if I ever get that put back together, I will definitely do a video on that, because that was a lot of fun to build, and hopefully I can actually get it working again. We got a little bit of the spillover over here. We've got another Mag Strike, some bows that I haven't done K26 on, the Double Dealer, the Desolator. That over there is actually John's arsenal. Let's move over to here. We've got Berserkers, the remains of a Stampede, a Zeus, a Cyclonic, another Vulcan, an Overlord, some paintball thing that's actually the Curators, Mega Bow, more bows. They hang nicely up there. One of those still needs to be done, K26. A couple of Rhino Fires. Some Quick 16s, another Roto Fury, Nitrons. I have plans to do some fun stuff with those. We've got the Modulus, and then Strifes for days, and then Rapid Strikes for days. Retaliators, Recons, Alpha Troopers, Elite Alpha Troopers, Rampages, Raiders, the Star Wars Stormtrooper Blaster deploys. I have plans for them. Long Strikes. I've got, I think, 3 of the variants so far. And then a couple of Tyrants. That's all of the unmodded stuff that's mostly stock for future builds and commissions. Let's get on to the really fun stuff, my wall. We've got a couple of pistols over here. I managed to find the Gear Up Maverick and the Gear Up Barricade. Very happy about that. That watermelon-looking thing was the blaster for the kid who needed it for a mentoring project for school. He sent it back to me, all painted up and modded up. It's pretty cool. The first thing I ever put K26 in, my Clear Shot and my Night Finder from Australia, which is still one of my favorite blasters. Ire, of course. A couple of crossbows hidden up in the roof. Hammer shots and my Sweet Revenge. My bazooka. My XBZ. My chainsaw bayonet. Shotguns. I got my triple shot. Tri-shot? Triple shot? I think it's a triple shot. And a couple of rough cuts. My mega shotguns. My Gear Up Raider, which I do plan to upgrade. I don't know how exactly. I think it's currently got an Orange ModWorks kit, but it needs a little, it's a little finicky. My Alpha Trooper with its Orange ModWorks kit, and then I just acquired the Gear Up Recon thanks to the Curator, who acquired a pair of them all the way from Australia. Still need to finish paying that one off. My short shotguns, my Eliminator, and my barrel break, which I need to modify now that I know how. Couple of Strifes and another unmodded Magnus. The Strifes, I want to have a pair that are running 130s semi-auto and a pair that run the full auto kit, also on 130s. We've got my Bullpup Retaliator there in the back, my minimized Stampede, and my Strifle, which I also want to put probably a full auto kit in. Maybe I'll keep this one semi-auto, but definitely want to upgrade it to 130s. Then we've got my Sledgefire and my shotgun, my Drain Blaster shotguns, both the Barricade and the Firefly, and then a Blazing Bow. Recently put K26 in that, and that's quite lovely. Various attachments, barrel attachments, stock attachments, rail attachments, all sorts of fun modular stuff, because that's kind of a thing. Shoulder blasters, my Scorpion and my Titan shoulder blaster, as well as both of the Speed Swarm blasters, a couple of chainsaws, and last but not least, a couple of Demolishers, just because they match the color scheme. And then way down there, I don't know if you can even see them, hidden way on the bottom, are my Slingfire and my Sentinel. And then this, I just recently built. I acquired the knife from a Etsy, or Craigslist ad, also got an Elite Alpha Trooper, quite pleased with that, and I made a little rail attach bayonet point, so it can be taken off and used as a dagger, or you can use it as a bayonet. I thought that was fun. Came up with a better design for it, though. This is a 3D printed Nerf rail to Picatinny rail that a friend of mine printed out, and it doesn't come off easily enough, so I have a plan to make a new one, and I'll do a video on that when I finish that. So I think, I'll go ahead and show this. This was given to me by my youngest sister, which is super cool, and the lightsabers were sent to me by a fan, and I just had to make a little display for it because I'm a huge nerd and because it's really pretty cool. So I think that about covers my arsenal. I really like how the ceiling racks came out. Still working on organization because this isn't the biggest shop in the world and I'm slowly running out of room. I do intend to, and hopefully in the near future, go through all of these bins and do a full inventory and start putting all of the surplus stuff that I really don't need or want on Etsy, which some of them will just be available to buy stock, other will be available, we'll have various options for modifications, especially the stuff that can take K26 and brass barrels and all of that. And I'll do a big video on that when I finally get that done. I know I've been saying I'm going to get it done for months now, and one of these days I will finally have the time to do it. But that's my arsenal. It's not the biggest, obviously. There are lots of people with much bigger arsenals than me, and definitely bigger personal arsenals than me, but that's something that I'm slowly but surely working on. So I hope this is what you guys were after. I hope this is what you were wanting. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, just want to call me a huge hoarding nerd, you go right ahead and do so in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching.